Welcome to Small Arm Solutions. You've seen in the past I have had two videos on the Galil Ace. I had the first video was on the first one that came into the country, which is in 7.62 by 39. Took the AK magazine, and the number two that came in was the 7.62 NATO, which took the SR25 magazine. However, the real one everybody's been waiting for has been the Galil Ace in 5.56. Myself, I have to say that I did buy this one, and I also have the 7.62 by 39. My particular favorite is the 7.62 by 39, but I did really enjoy this one as well, which is why I'm keeping it. This particular rifle has been doing very well internationally. It was just adopted by the Chilean Army. The Chilean Army prior to that had been using some old SIG 551 type rifles, and they were extremely outdated and they were extremely well worn. I can attest to that myself because I was there. I probably spent probably a total of 8 to 10 weeks in Chile in my career. I was down in Chile working with Colt. I was down there when they were looking at our M4 carbines, and at that time they were looking to find something to replace their aging guns. There were several guns that were looked at. One of the unique things about Chile was that their guns are all made in country. They're all made by a company called FAMI. It's a Chilean-run company. When they adopt firearms, they adopt most types of military equipment. They like to build it in-house, so they license from the company. The company sets up the manufacturing at FAMI, which was the case here. The Colt rifles that we had down there, we had some issues with the ammunition. The ammunition that is made also by FAMI out there is not NATO spec ammunition. The port pressures in that sucker were very, very low. It caused a lower cyclic rate on the M4s because of the self-regulating gas system, the way those are designed. But there was some pretty heavy fighting for that contract. I know FN was down there, Colt was down there, and IWI was down there. And when it was all said and done, the rifle they adopted is what you see right here, the Galil Ace in 5.56. Now, some of the original Galil Aces used Galil magazines. The fact that you have the Stenag magazine being the M16 type magazine, it was redesigned to take M16 type magazines. And what you have here is basically a modified AK-47 type system. A lot of really nice changes have been made to it. So I definitely would say this is a vastly improved Kalashnikov. The Israelis have done quite a bit of work on it. We're going to go over some of those changes. There's one particular change that came out of this rifle that has not been done in any other rifles. And what that is a manual bolt open. On the regular rifles, like an AK, there's no bolt catch. On the 5.56 there is. So you empty magazine, you pull the bolt back, locks open to the rear. You can drop the magazine out. Say we would reinsert a loaded magazine by pushing down on this lever right here. It would load the next round into the chamber. It can be actuated by pushing upwards and pulling back on the charging handle as well. So it works as both a release and as a catch. I am given to understand by WI that could be coming over to several other ones as well. I imagine you'll see it coming over on the 308s next, or the 7.62 NATOs. The AK-47s, I don't see. AK-47 type magazines, I don't see it because the magazines are just not, they're not conducive with it. Where the Stenag magazine and, as you know, the SR25 type magazine are. But that is one of the biggest things that stands out about this rifle. So going from back to front, we have a removable cheek piece on here. As you can see, I have an aim point on here. This raises your cheek up enough so it'll align properly with the sights. Now, there's no co-witness between these sights. So don't even bother with that. The stock is both telescopic as well as side folding. As you can see, when it's side folding, it does not interfere with the ejection. It can be fired this way, although you don't want it to. You won't hit anything. But for as far as being in mounted vehicles, this is a really good thing to have. Now, looking at the top here, the rear sight adjustable for windage. This can be taken off by just using a firing pin and popping it up, and this will slide right off. So you can have the entire rail for use of an optic. With this particular kind of optic, it's fine. You don't need it. The front sight is M16 type post. You do have a tritium vial on here, and you have two tritium vials in the rear. So this comes with tritium night sights. You have a manual safety that is both the right and the left side. So as you can see from here, you have safe and fire. But then when we flip it around, we have safe and fire as well. So it's ambidextrous for both sides. Now the lower receiver on here is steel. This is a steel forged lower receiver like the original Galil Aces. Your lower area down here, this is polymer. The pistol grip is a little on the smaller side for somebody with size Sasquatch hands like me, but it's still comfortable. The trigger pull is very nice on it. The only issue I had with it was it's relatively short. This trigger, at least in my opinion, could go a little bit longer, be a little more comfortable to use because it rests on the upper portion of my finger rather than the whole thing. So as you see, we have here the bolt catch. We do have an ambidextrous magazine release as well, right here and right here as well. Now the one thing I want you to take a look at on the side here is one of the neat design features of the Galil Ace is it gives you a fully enclosed system, meaning it does not allow dirt in. If you notice right here, we have a dust cover that when you pull the bolt back, you can see how it pushes down out of the way, and when it goes forward, it re-engages. And on the other side, as you can see, there's no track like you have on an AK where the charging handle reciprocates. So basically what you have here is a totally enclosed weapon system. So you could throw it, bury it, put dirt wherever you want. It can't get into it. The only place where it can get into is through the muzzle. Other than that, the system is entirely closed off. You do have a couple of vent holes, but you're not going to get enough dirt. It's going to get into those little holes there to make much of a difference. Polymer is extremely strong. I have no concerns about that breaking, by no means. So as we go front, we have a full-length 1913 rail. You have the top 1913 rail as part of the receiver cover itself, as you'll see when we disassemble it. And then forward, you have this as part of the gas block, as you see. You have a 1 7-inch twist hammer forged barrel, cold hammer forged barrel, excellent military grade barrel, and you have an A2 style compensator on here as well. Now, for as far as suppressor use, I have not tried the suppressor on this model yet. However, the other two, the 7.62x39 as well as the 7.60x51, they're not suppressor capable. The reason being is that they are overgassed and it causes failures. One of the ways you make an external piston system reliable is you overgas it. And also with the AK style systems, if you look at the end of the piston, which we're going to see, you have no gas rings in there to seal it off. When you have the gas rings that seal off the chamber, you can utilize a lot less gas, which is making it more so you can be able to use the sound suppressors. However, like a regular AK, you just have a metal rod where you have to have a heavy blast of gas to smack it for it to go over, because a lot of gas is going to escape around the sides. So you have to overcompensate and be able to knock that back. So that's one of the negatives of this, is it's not what you call suppressor capable. Now, if you look at the handguards are removable. This is both the 3, 9, and 6 o'clock rails. All three of them, you have 1913 rails, so you can attach whatever you would like. You can attach flashlights, you can attach vertical pistol grips, or whatever else that you would see fit, lasers. What we're going to do now is we're going to take it apart, and we're going to see what she looks like in the inside. Now, just like any AK, you push inward on your action spring, push forward. It's extremely tight. So looking at the receiver cover, you can see how the 1913 rail is attached. And you can also see the slight hole where you would push in, and that would be used to release the rear sight from the receiver cover. Push inward on the recoil mechanism. Now, speaking of sealing, you have a gasket around the back, which keeps debris out as well. You also have a polymer bumper in here, which dampens the recoil when the rifle's in recoil from hitting the receiver. Pull backward, and we remove our bolt carrier group. You have a standard AK style bolt. And if you notice the gas piston here as well, again, as we just talked about, there's no gas rings on here, so you do see gas does slip around the sides, which is one of the reasons for overgassing. See, that's nice chrome plated. And then your gas tube comes right off. And there's a notch right in the bottom here, which it slides into to index it. And when you look inside, you see a heat shield. And this is really all there is to it for disassembly. Looking at the trigger mechanism, that is pure AK, as you can see on here. And this is an FNC style dust cover, as you see in there. You can see how that pops right back up. And that's really all there is to it. You know, this has not seen any service with the Israeli military. They're sticking with their Tavors. However, again, overseas, this model has become very popular. In fact, the 760x39 version of this has been adopted by the Vietnamese Army. They're manufacturing those in Vietnam. And there's several other contracts as well. This has been an excellent weapon system, even from when its beginning. And this definitely, being an updated version of the original Galil rifle, it's definitely surpassed its granddaddy for as far as popularity and use overseas. I think there's definitely it's definitely done significantly better. So reassembly, very simple. Push that back into place. That locks right in place. Bolt carrier group, bolt, just identical to that of the AK. Insert your recoil spring. And this has a notch that it slips into. Snaps down into place, pull back on your recoil spring, and there you go. Now the ammunition being used with this was a couple different kinds. We used Black Hills 55 grain full metal jacket. We used some 77 grain OTM, and we used some ZQI 62 grain full metal jacket. Now, just a little interesting piece of information. The Israelis, their primary issue around is the 55 grain full metal jacket. That's what they use in Israel. Only their special forces uses the 62 grain ammunition. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to take us to the range and we're going to see how it shoots. This will surely be the most popular version of the Galil Ace in the United States. Although their calibers are very highly in demand as well, this is probably the one that the country has truly been waiting for. I have to say I really enjoyed shooting it. It's not the precision rifle of the M4 or the M16. That's not what it is. This is more of an AK type assault rifle. However, the quality of this barrel and the platform, I think, takes it several steps ahead of any AK-47 in the world. For as far as its functioning, let alone that it's an AK system, we combine it with the fact that we have a completely closed system. That's another thing that is incredible about the design. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll try and get back to you. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share. Thank you.